Hi there, I am Lindsay with Off the Beaten Hook, and in this lesson we are going to learn the treble crochet stitch. You also will hear it called the triple crochet stitch sometimes too. And if you're working your way through the Learn to Crochet series with me, this lesson continues to build on the stitches that we've already learned up until this point. But if you're new here, you will find the complete series linked in the lesson notes if you want to go back and follow along with us from the very basics all the way through making your first crochet projects and beyond. The treble crochet stitch is abbreviated as TR in crochet patterns, and like we already said, you'll also hear this stitch referred to as the triple crochet stitch. But the treble crochet stitch is much taller than the single crochet stitch or any of the other stitches that we've learned up until this point. And because it's so much taller, it creates a very open fabric and it comes together extremely quickly due to its height. And by this point, you may also start noticing that crochet stitches follow a very similar construction, and that's a really important part of understanding crochet as a whole. I'm using a worsted weight yarn paired with a 5.5mm crochet hook for this lesson. Now, worsted weight yarn will work great with a 5mm crochet hook, a 5.5mm crochet hook, or a 6mm crochet hook. So any one of these that you have on hand will work completely fine paired with your worsted weight yarn. I am also going to be using 2 non-locking stitch markers, and these we're going to use to mark our first and last stitches of all of our rows as we make our way through this swatch. So go ahead and grab your hook and grab your yarn and let's get going. Here is a completed swatch of treble crochet so that you can just visualize the type of fabric that you're going to be making as you work up your swatch. You will see the stitch is pretty tall compared to any of the other stitches that you've made up until this point. And what that does is it creates a fabric that has a lot of drape and flexibility. You can see big spaces in between the stitches, and that gives it a huge amount of drape and looseness and flexibility. So you will see this a lot in garments where you really want a lot of flow and that kind of texture going on. And it's just so much noticeably taller than any of the stitches that we've learned so far. So let's go ahead and learn how to do the treble crochet stitch. To work our treble crochet stitches, we are going to begin with a chain. So we're going to leave a little tail long enough to weave in later, probably about 6 inches. And we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to put that slip knot onto our hook. And if you need a refresher on how to do your slip knot, we do cover it in detail in a previous lesson in this course, so you can go back and check it out there. All right, so we are now set up for our swatch. Now with our treble crochet swatch, we are going to make a swatch of 20 stitches across. And with a treble crochet stitch, you have a taller turning chain. And so the turning chain is going to consist of 2 chains. Now, in a pattern, it would be completely normal to also see a turning chain of 3 or even 4 chains for treble crochet. So any of those work. It's completely up to the designer how they write that. I prefer a turning chain of 2 because it makes our edge a little less bumpy and more straight and flat. So in order to make our swatch 20 stitches, we're going to go ahead and chain our 20 chains plus those 2 chains for our turning chain. So our full count of chains is going to be 22. (21, 22). All right, so again, we've got our loop on our hook. This does not count as a stitch. We have our first chain from the hook here, our second chain from the hook here. Those 2 are our turning chain. That means we're going to make our first treble crochet into this chain right here behind underneath the back loop of that chain. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hold that chain with my thumb here so I know where I'm going. Now to begin our treble crochet, we are going to yarn over twice. So 1, 2. And I sort of hold those with my finger on the shaft, holding those as we insert our hook into that third chain from the hook. Then what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop. Okay, now we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through only 2 of those loops. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through only 2 loops on the hook. Now we have 2 loops left. So finally we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through those final 2 loops on the hook for our first treble crochet. Go ahead and mark that stitch right away. It gets easier to lose that first stitch of the row as your stitches grow taller because it can be confused with your turning chain at this point. All right, so making our way down the chain, we've got our next chain right here. So we are going to yarn over twice. And for me, it's helpful to just use this index finger to kind of hold those down onto the hook. Inserting our hook front to back through that next chain. Yarn over and pull up a loop. We've got 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. We've got 3 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Finally, yarn over, pull through 2 for our second treble crochet. Let's go again. Yarn over twice. Insert your hook into the next chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to make my way down to the end of this chain, and when we get there we will talk more about treble crochet turning chains and how to properly treat those as we turn our work and start making our way back down the row. I have made my way to the very last chain in my foundation chain here, so I'm going to do my last treble crochet of the row. Okay, and I'm going to stop right away and I'm going to place a stitch marker in that stitch. And there you have your first row of treble crochet. Let's take a look at how to treat turning chains with treble crochet. So what we have to do is we need to create a series of chains before we turn our work so that we can bring our next row up to the height that it needs to be. As we talked about at the very beginning, I use 2 chains for this. But it's completely up to the discretion of the designer whether they use 2, 3, or even 4 chains for the treble crochet turning chain. And that is because sometimes designers will count this turning chain as the first stitch of the row, and that's actually really common with treble crochet because it is such a tall stitch. Now, if a turning chain counts as a stitch, let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to give it 1 more chain. And if this counts as our first stitch, we want to count that as our first stitch by placing a stitch marker there. And what you would do is you would mark the 3rd chain, or again, if it's made of 4, then you would mark the 4th chain. Because since it counts as a stitch, you're going to be working into that turning chain when you come back down the row on your next row. So we're just pretending here, we're pretending that this is counting as a stitch. Now, if that counts as a stitch, you are not going to use this very first stitch of the row. You're actually going to skip over that. It is now considered a false stitch. It's as if this chain that's coming out was made out of that very first stitch. So your next stitch is going to be placed in this one. It's important for you to know that because if you now count this as a stitch and then you also place a stitch here in this very first one that we have stitch marked, you've just now added an extra stitch into your row. So your stitch count is going to get off. Now, if that does not count as a stitch, just like how I am treating it, we're going to turn and we are going to make our very first treble crochet into this very first stitch because this does not count. So in order to keep our count correct, we have to use that very first stitch. That is how I prefer to use my turning chains, and that's because it just creates a cleaner edge. I'm going to show you a swatch of treble crochet where the turning chain counts as a stitch and ultimately what that ends up looking like. So I made this swatch and I counted my turning chains as a stitch in the row, which means I skipped over that very first stitch and it made my next stitch here. And this is what that ends up looking like. I don't know if you see it, but the first thing I see is these gaps. Turning chain, turning chain, turning chain, turning chain. I just don't like it. Some people don't mind that, no big deal. But I want my stitches to be uniform and tight, and I want them to look like this. I want them to look like this all the way across. I don't want a big gap at the corner. So for me, that's my preference. So in my patterns, it will be very uncommon for you to see me using a turning chain as a stitch. So let's go ahead and make our way back down our row now that we've covered everything we need to know about turning chains. And I will mention that concept is considered a little bit more advanced, but I feel like the earlier you understand how turning chains work, the less that's going to be a pain point later on, because it can be really confusing when you're making one pattern where it counts and in the next pattern it doesn't count as a stitch, and also exactly where to place the stitch based on that can end up being really confusing later on. So I feel like the earlier you understand that concept, the less that's going to become frustrating for you later. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this stitch out. I'm going to keep my thumb there just so I know where I'm placing my next stitch. I'm going to yarn over twice. And as I'm making my way back down the top of these stitches, I will be using both of those loops on the top to complete my stitch. So yarning over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and immediately stop and place my stitch marker in that very first stitch. Okay, let's do this next one together as well into the top of this next one. Yarning over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. All right, let's talk a little bit about tension when you're making your treble crochet stitches. Now, when you're yarning over and you're inserting your hook and you're pulling up that very first loop, which you're going to do 3 times for the treble crochet, this first loop isn't going to want to be pulled all the way up to the height of your stitch. That will make a super wonky, loose, extra tall stitch, okay? You want that very first loop that you pull over to come up to the height of about the first third of your treble crochet stitch. So that's about right here. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, now your next yarn over, you're going to be at about the middle, right in the middle of the second third of that treble crochet stitch. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 at that height. And now you've reached the height of your stitch where your hook is riding along the top of the row of your stitches, and you're going to yarn over and pull through the last 2. And that is going to create an even, consistent tension for your treble crochet. And at this point, if you are learning the treble crochet, you're probably getting pretty comfortable with tension, how to control the tension, how to keep it tighter or looser. But that just gives you an idea of how to tension as you're bringing your stitches up, you're bringing your loops up, exactly where to keep your hook during that process. So now that we're becoming more familiar with how to make the treble crochet stitch, let's go ahead and take a look at the stitch anatomy. First thing you're going to notice is this is an extremely tall stitch. Definitely the tallest of the 4 basic foundational crochet stitches. All right, we are going to have our V's on the top, our 2 top loops. And then you're looking at the front of the stitch, and the stitch has this really long post. This is the post of the treble crochet. It becomes really common in crochet patterns that you're actually going to make stitches around this post, either like this, or bringing your hook from back around the post like this to make ribbing and to make other decorative stitches. So the longer your stitch gets, the more loops that you have opportunity to make your stitches into. Most often through both here or around the post of the treble crochet stitch right here. And then as you're counting your stitches, it becomes a lot easier to identify them with the post and with that top loop, all being this one treble crochet stitch right here. Here is our completed swatch of treble crochet stitch, and now we are going to take a closer look at how to count stitches and how to count rows in treble crochet. Now by now I am sure you are comfortable with counting stitches, so I'm just going to look at that very quickly. I have my first stitch of the row and my last stitch of the row marked. Again, my treble crochet, just like all the other stitches, creates these little V's. The tops of the stitches are shaped like a V, and that is how we are going to count our stitches as we work our way across the row. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on all the way to 20. All right, so now let's take a look at our rows and how to count our rows. And you can probably see right off the bat with treble crochet, it is much easier to count rows of treble crochet as compared to single crochet and our shorter stitches, because you can literally just see the stitch itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, you will still see the similar pattern that I've talked about before if you have worked through the earlier lessons, where you see the bottom of this stitch here with this little V. I see those poking up at me, and then I see on the other rows, on the other side, I see these little dashes going across. Starting from the bottom to the top, we can count our little dashes and our little V's in the way that I've described. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that we have made it all the way through our treble crochet stitch, let's take a look at all the foundational stitches side by side so you can really start being able to identify them and understanding the difference in the fabric that they make. So single crochet is the shortest. Half double crochet sits a little bit taller than that. Double crochet, again, a little bit taller. And now finally the treble crochet stitch, which is noticeably taller than all of the other stitches. And at this point, you may notice that all of these stitches are built very similarly. As stitches become taller, we simply add more yarn overs and more pull through steps. And this is a really powerful learning moment because understanding that pattern makes learning future stitches much easier because crochet begins to feel predictable instead of random. In this lesson, you learned how to create the treble crochet stitch, and you've also deepened your understanding on the construction of crochet stitches in general. So for practice, after this lesson, continue making rows of treble crochet, paying special attention to your edges and being sure that you're not missing that first or that last stitch of the row. Sometimes with taller stitches, that part can become a little more difficult to recognize. And at this point of the course, you have reached a huge milestone by becoming comfortable with the 4 main foundational crochet stitches. And you're probably noticing that your hands are building a little more muscle memory, and you may also be noticing how connected all of these stitches really are, and that understanding becomes incredibly valuable as you continue learning crochet. In our next lesson, we will learn how to fasten off and how to weave in your ends so you can properly finish off your crochet project. So I'll see you there.